I turned around. I saw 29 guns pointed at me because there were 30 soldiers that came. And one, the leader, already had his hand up because as I was walking to the wall, he said, "Ready, aim."
Hi, welcome. What an honor to have you on the channel. I believe that in life we are here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must start with investing in ourselves. I believe in you, and this channel is going to give you tools to help you overcome your challenges and light your path. Let's start. Hello, Grandma. How are you doing?
Thank God I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing perfect now that I'm here. Welcome to the channel. What an honor to have you here.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Oh, of course. There's so many things that you went through in life that for us it could be like pearls, to learn from that and take it with us to the future. So we could talk now for days, as we know that. But we want to be today a little bit more focused. And I know that there are a few tools that help you a lot in life, but you went through a lot. You went through the Holocaust, and later on you also, when you came to America, you went through a lot of challenges. Then you moved to another country, and you're always in the move and always facing really big challenges and also overcoming them. So I would love to know, again, I'm sure there are a lot of tools, but like what helped you to overcome those challenges? What was that tool or tools? And if you could also give me an example, because it would maybe be easier to understand. Love that.
Alrighty. As you mentioned, yes, I was born in 1939 in Poland. Being the religion that I am, in Poland, 1939, that was a bad place to be. And so there were a lot of negatives that happened, a lot. And as a matter of fact, I was given away to a non-Jewish family for safekeeping because no Jews were safe. And the people that I was given away to was a pure blessing for me because they did not have the hatred and the violence within them. So they treated me with how a true parent would treat a child. But it being a village, and they probably were the only ones that were not hateful and wanting to destroy what everybody in Europe who they wanted to destroy, namely my people. And so yes, I had pure love from them, but every time I would leave the house, I experienced severe beatings by the neighborhood children. That started at the age of 3.
Wow.
I also experienced at the age of 5 where Gestapo soldiers came to our village, and anytime they needed to replenish their stock, they wouldn't come to the mayor of the city, of the village, and say, "May we buy?" They simply took what they wanted and needed. And if anyone got in the way, no problem, machine gun them down. That was their solution. And at the age of 5, while hiding up in a tree, I witnessed 2 soldiers machine gun a young mother. And
a young mother.
She was 18.
Wow.
And she was clutching her baby, wanting to run across the road, thinking she would be safer across the road. But they saw her. She didn't see them. They machine gunned her. And when those 2 soldiers walked up to the body, they kicked her to make sure that she was dead. But they kicked her so severely that she rolled off her baby. Wow. Well, she took all the bullets. The baby did not.
What a sacrifice.
And so when she rolled off the baby was able to breathe now because she was on top of the baby. And the baby started crying. Each soldier bent down. Each one picked a leg.
Wait, the baby was like totally alive?
Yes.
Crying?
Yes, because when the mother got the bullets from the machine guns, she took the bullets. They did not
Wow.
infiltrate the baby.
So she took off the bullets.
Yes, and so when they rolled her off with that kicking, she rolled off the baby and started crying because it could start breathing now. So each soldier picked up one leg of the baby and walked in opposite directions.
Oh my God.
This is what I saw at the age of 5. Being up there in that tree, I learned never show fear.
Wow.
Because that will kill you. Never, never, never a lot of things. One of the things that was added to those nevers is never cry, because that's weakness. And those lessons have stayed with me my entire life. I am now 83 years old, so you can imagine how many years I have lived with those. Now, again, lessons of life. One of the neighbors in this village suspected that I was a Jew and went to the nearest city of where we lived, this village. She went to the Gestapo headquarters and said, my name is, I live in such and such a village, and there's a family in our village that is hiding a Jewish child.
Wow.
So the following Sunday, 30 soldiers came to this village.
30 soldiers to your village?
Yes, 30 German soldiers with the express purpose of killing me.
30 soldiers, wow. And they were with machine guns and everything.
I found out while I was ordered to go against the wall so they could shoot me. I heard the leader of this group speak to the lady who I thought was my mom, because, I mean, after all, we went to church every single day, every single Sunday. I knew my prayers backwards and forwards. Yes, I was called Żydówka, by the neighborhood children, but I didn't know why they called me such a name. And it was a dirty name in my ears because that's what we heard in the church, that we were vermin. The Jew was vermin. We also heard that Hitler loved children. So it didn't make sense to me why they would want to kill me. So after all, I was
The kids want to kill you?
No, the soldiers, why they would come and want to kill me. I'm hearing about Jews, and I hear this man say to my mom, we have it on good authority that this is a Jew, pointing to me. And that's how I find out that I'm a Jew. I didn't know up to that point. I thought I was a Christian because after all, we went to church every Sunday. It didn't make sense to me. But that's how I found out at the age of 6.
Wow, at the age of 6. But a lot before 6 already, you said that the neighborhood kids were beating you up. So why did you think they were beating you up?
And they called me Jew.
So they even called you a Jew?
Yes, and it didn't make sense to me. Why did they call me a Jew? I was the daughter to these two people who loved me totally. And we went to church. We were honest, God-fearing people. I didn't understand why they called me a Žid, a Jew.
Wow. So moving forward to the age of 6, you're saying that you were standing against...
I was against that wall, and I heard the leader of this firing squad say that they have it on good authority that I'm a Jew, and they are a firing squad come to exterminate the Jew.
So you're standing next to the wall, hearing that they're here to kill you.
Right. So then I speak to my best friend at that point. My best friend has always been, throughout my life, the big boss upstairs, what we call God. What humanity, I don't believe, understands well is, my mother had a great saying, under God, we are all his children. We humans have created labels. Christians have over 300 Christian faiths. The Jews have 4 or 5. They're all Jewish, but different practice in different levels. Every faith has labels. For me, God was my best friend, and I talked to him anytime I was troubled, anytime I was hurting, anytime anything. So now I hear that I'm going to be, I am facing a firing squad, and that I'm a Jew. So I have a conversation with my best friend, and I say, dear God, if you will let me grow up, and if you will let me get married, and if you will let me have children, I promise you, I'll give you back Jews. I turned around. I saw 29 guns pointed at me because there were 30 soldiers that came. And one, the leader, already had his hand up because as I was walking to the wall, he said, ready, aim. He was waiting for me to turn around so he could say fire. So that's who I looked at straight in the face, and I started laughing. And I said, Dummkopf, which means stupid in German. Don't you know you're going to shoot the future generation of Deutschland? Deutschland is Germany. Because we heard in the church very clearly, Jews are vermin. They're less than human, to be stepped on and crushed. And they did, well over 6 million. They killed. There were 18 million Jews in 1939. There were 12 million in 1945. So they indeed did a good job of that. And I also heard in church that Hitler was a savior, and he loved children. So here I'm telling this leader of this firing squad that after all, I'm thinking Hitler loved children. So what is he going to do to these soldiers when Hitler finds out that they shot a child? You know, 6-year-old mind, not particularly sophisticated and knowledgeable, obviously.
Where do you have the courage to head of the shooting squad? You're only 6 years old.
Yes, but I don't take the credit. My best friend has given me guidance in my entire life.
Okay.
Because the war didn't end for me in 1945. Even though I experienced all these things from 1941 to 45, that's when I lived with this couple, I experienced all these horrors and more, but still, I had unconditional love from these 2 Christian people.
Were they in the room when the...
She was. He was out in the field tending to his plot of land. They grew vegetables that they sold Thursdays in the market.
Got it. Oh, and what was his reaction, the commander of that group?
First of all, he couldn't understand why am I not crying and begging for my life. Instead, I'm laughing and calling him a Dummkopf. It didn't make sense to him. But my mom realized what I was doing. And she kept telling him, this is my daughter. You know, we have been helping you kill these Jews. By the way, she's the only one in the village that knew that I was a Jew. She and her husband. Nobody else knew.
Oh.
But yet here, this is what she's saying to this leader. And he said, no, we have a job to do. So she realizes it's no use talking to him because he's not listening. She came to that wall. She picked me up and she said, well, then in that case, you'll have to shoot us both, my daughter
Wow.
and me.
Wow.
You see the danger of making labels? How many people say the Poles did? The Poles did. Most of them were very willing killers of Jews, but not all. God gave me angels.
Wow.
Okay. So I am laughing. This Polish woman is willing to risk her life. Even more miracles. It's 1945. The American allies are coming in, closing down the camps. What he would have had to do technically is send them to a concentration camp, burn down their house, and exterminate me. That should have been the order. But not only that this kid is laughing, and this woman is willing to stand against the wall, but 1945, the Allies are coming in. They're closing down the camps, and they're taking prisoners of war, all the German soldiers. So instead of saying fire, he said halt, which means stop.
Oh.
And he said to my mom, I put it now in quotes, because now I realize, all right, I'm going to go back with my soldiers and we're going to go to the church. And we're going to check the records, who she really is. And if we find out she is a Jew, by the time we'll come back and take her, you'll wish that we would have shot her, because then we'll have other plans for her.
Wow.
What we didn't know, the soldiers in the different camps, when they needed to practice their shootings, they would throw out babies in the air, and that would be the target that they would shoot. And how many people knew that there was a lampshade lady, that she would skin alive the children and the adults and make lampshades out of them?
Wow.
How many people know that?
Wow.
But these are the things that we have to carry with us for the rest of our life. That baby being torn in front of my eyes while I'm up in a tree, I lived that nightmare from the age of 5, 1944, till 2007.
Wow.
2007, when my husband, may he rest in peace, made Aliyah to Israel. I had that nightmare every single night.
Wow.
And by the time we realized we're coming to Israel, I made sure that my husband and I went to every single doctor that we went to, so I would know what kind of doctors to pursue in Israel. What I did for me is I went to a sleep clinic, because I would wake up every single morning exhausted, and I couldn't understand why. So I wanted to find a solution. So that's why I went to the sleep clinic, so they could tell me what is the problem, so maybe I could find a solution in Israel. Being there overnight, attached to all kinds of wires on my head, I looked like a Martian from Mars.
It's a good movie.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, so you recognize me as one of the Martians, aren't I?
Exactly.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, I want the speaking and the listening audience to know, this is what I have to put up with. No, I ask you, where's the justice in the world?
No one said there is.
There you go.
You went through so much and you only shared like a really small part over here.
Correct.
And you had to make so many choices that would have cost you your life if you wouldn't have made the right choices.
Correct.
How did you go through all these challenges? Again, you only share now a small part of it, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And going through that and living, and I know now you're thriving and doing some amazing things in life.
Mm-hmm.
Raising a family, helping a lot of people, working with hospice, saving
Mm-hmm.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there like a certain tool, something over there? There's something that helped you to go through this, and I would love
Yes.
if you can share that.
Without even telling you what I experienced after the war. after my biological mother reclaimed me from this couple. Based on what I just said up to now, what kind of a person should I have turned out to be?
Probably crazy. In a hospital, being hospitalized someplace.
Mentally damaged.
Or that's if you're living. I would have thought you would have been dead. But if you're still living, yeah, probably really seriously mentally damaged.
It's a good assumption. So what I did as I grew older into teenage years, I asked myself, because when my 3 sons were born and they were able to, they attained the age of understanding, I would say to them, throughout your life, you're going to meet all kinds of people. Most of them are going to be pretty good. You learn from them what you should do in life. But there are also people, unfortunately, that are not so good. They too are excellent teachers because they can teach you what not to do. So just as I taught my sons this lesson, I also absorbed this lesson. And I asked myself, given all my life's experiences during the war and after the war, is that what I want to be? A bitter, angry person? No. I want to learn from the positives of the people that I met. But I also am learning from the negatives of the negative people what not to do. And I've had both that have come through my life. My best friend has sent me some very amazing people who came through my life. And I learned from them. I learned what it means to be a giving person, to be a caring person, to be a loving person. That is what will bring you what you want in life. And from those people that were negative, I also learned from them what not to do, because I knew the poison that it can leave you with. So I realized, if I'm going to learn from those two, that means that I have to take responsibility of myself. If I screw up, then I have to be honest with myself. You know, I made a mistake. What can I learn from that mistake? Because what people don't realize, mistakes are not bad. I don't call them mistakes. I call them opportunities. Opportunities to correct what you did that was not correct. And you don't learn from the positives because you're doing the right thing. But you're given the opportunity to learn from the negatives that you decided to do because you see the negative that you get back. But that means you have to be honest with yourself. You have to take ownership of all that you do. You have to be responsible for what you do and what you don't do. What is that called? You have to make choices in life. And how do you learn? From all those people that have passed through your life. You learn the good things and you learn the negative things. So you have a choice how you'll do something and what you'll do. And not making a choice is a choice.
Not making a choice is also a choice?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because not making a choice where choice is needed, you're not going to get the results that you want.
That not making a choice where a choice is needed, why won't I get the results I want?
Because you didn't make a choice of what to do.
So you're saying it doesn't matter what I do, I am making a choice. So the power of the choice is if I make the right choice or if I do not make the right choice.
My goodness, that was good. Precisely.
That's crazy. So basically, the right choices saved you so many times in life and helped you grow and become who you are. But you're saying a second ago that if you would have made the wrong choices, which is also a choice, you would have been dead, or you would have been alive, but in a mentally
And very
hospitalized
negative, right?
and very negative.
Exactly.
Wow. So the power of the choice basically designed your life.
And you have the power to make that choice. No one has the power to make choices for you unless you give them that power.
Wow.
That's a choice. Everything in life is a choice. Everything. But you have to have the strength and the guts to make the right choices. Now, when I was younger, I made a lot of mistakes. And I paid heavy prices for those mistakes. But those mistakes were opportunities for me to learn to do better. And I have. Is it easy? No, nothing worthwhile is easy. When you went to school, who did you learn from better? The bad teachers or the good teachers? It's that simple. Be a friend to yourself. Your good friend with others starts with you. How do you
Wow.
know how to be a friend to somebody else unless you know how to be respectful and a friend to you?
Wow.
It all boils down to choices.
Wow. So you're saying that if a person will make the right choice in life,
They will benefit
they
the
will
positive
benefit.
things.
And also, if we do not make the right choice, if I understand you correctly, we could also learn from those mistakes and then make the re-choice and then make the choice again.
Exactly.
But we always have the choice. So it's not that if we made the wrong choice, so now we should bury ourselves in the
No,
ground.
not at all.
Get up and make the
You're
choice to
given an
learn.
opportunity to learn to do something better
So
because you made a wrong choice.
Amazing. So the wrong choice is basically an opportunity to learn and get better.
Exactly.
I love that. That's amazing.
Exactly.
I think, if people take that to life, it's saved your life so many times. And like I said, you only shared a small part of it here. If people take that to life, there's the understanding that you're not basically now waiting for someone else to make a decision.
No.
You're not holding your life on someone else's
No.
decision. It's you making the choice.
Exactly.
And when it's fine if you don't make the right choice, we're not God, so then we could just learn from it.
That's right.
But I think the understanding and acknowledging that everything is a choice.
Yes.
And it's our choice. So even if someone told us whatever he says, so we have the choice how to respond, how we look at that. If we decide how to respond to whatever they said best on our interpretation. So I really love what you said about the choice, because I think it's such an important tool that could, if we make the right choices and the wrong choices, because we'll always do both, so we could learn so much in life and invest in ourselves and help others. And if we decide to close our eyes and say, I have nothing to do, and it's their fault, whatever, so
we
can't make the choice.
We will bear the consequence.
Exactly, so that means we're staying in jail. So
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your wisdom. There's so much. This was only like a small part of it, but I really appreciate that. So really, thank you very much.
I thank you for inviting me. I also appreciate it,
My
being
pleasure.
able to share with you.
I'm looking forward for the next time.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll see you soon.
You got it.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.